In this video, we're going to take a look at how to create a scatter chart in Excel 2019 or Excel 365. A scatter chart is used to show the relationship between pairs of numbers. So we have pairs of numbers here, and in column A we have what we're going to put on our x-axis, and over in column B is what we're going to put on the y-axis. So we'll have our percents running across the bottom, and these are increasing by increments of 10% every time. That's a nice steady increment. Over here on the right, they're not quite increasing by the same amount every time, but it does kind of look like, as the percents get bigger, the amounts get bigger over here as well. So what we'd like to do with scatter chart is see how close that relationship is. So to create a chart, select the data, including the column headings. Let's go to our Insert tab, and let's go to our Charts group, and at the bottom here is an option to insert a scatter chart, and we've got several options here. It'll do a live preview for us, but the one that we want is the first one here. Okay, so it shows the points. You can kind of see they almost look like a straight line, but there's this one kind of goes down a little bit from the straight line. This one looks like it might be above the straight line a little bit. So we can have Excel do a best fit line for that, and that is over here. If we click on the Chart Elements button and choose Trend Line down here, we can do linear, and it'll draw in the line for us. We can do a linear forecast, and that extends out the x-axis, so you can see what would happen if the x-axis continued to increase. You can do a moving average, and there's more options down here. Let's click on more options and see what comes up. Okay, so we're going to do a linear. We think this is pretty close to a straight line, and it is. And you may want to know what that equation is, how you determine that line. So there's an option down here to display the equation on the chart. Go ahead and turn that on. And there is our equation right there. If you click on it, the handles will appear, and you can format that like any other text. You can go down to the Home tab here, and you can make it any size you want. You can make it any color you want. You can grab the border here, and you can position it any place that you want to as well. So it's pretty straightforward. You may want to add some labels here. It's not a good idea to not label the numbers on your axis. So let's go and tell it we want to add axis titles. We'll just turn that on. It'll give us both the X and the Y titles. The Y title here is selected by default, so we don't have to select it. We can just start typing on top of it. That is the value that I labeled over here as amount. So I'm just going to type amount on top of it. It'll appear up here on the formula bar when I type it, but not down here until I hit the enter key, which I'm doing right now. And we can do the same thing with the axis title on the x-axis, and that is my percent numbers. So we can just start typing percent. It'll appear up on the formula bar. When I hit the enter key, it will replace what's in the box down here. So it's pretty straightforward. You could also add a legend if you wanted to. There's a plus sign over here to do a legend, and it will show you a legend for the points. That column was labeled amount, and we did select row 1, otherwise that would not show up here. And then there's also a legend here for the line as well. Another thing you might want to do with your chart is you might want to put it on a new worksheet. And if we go up here to Chart Design, there's an option to move the chart. Let's select a new sheet. You can change the name if you want to, but we're just going to leave the default here. Click on OK. And now it appears on a page by itself. And you can do any formatting here that you want to do. The formatting for charts is the same from one chart to another. Click on whatever it is you want. Handles will appear around it. When the handles appear, so I've got text here. I can go to my Home tab, and I can make those numbers any size that I want to. I can format them any way I want to. Same thing with the text labels here. Same thing with the numbers down here at the bottom. I can change the plot area if I want a different color. If I want my horizontal grid lines here, you see there's a dot here and a dot here. I can make those bolder. or bigger if I want to, or change the color on them. So you can go in here and you can customize to your heart's content. But those are the basics for creating a scatter chart in Excel 2019.